Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so let me go to the scoring section that you sent across and address the scoring questions. So, firstly, one of the questions was like in scoring of companies for each pillar, can we have qualitative questions where we can store notes and impressions of the company? So, yeah, that's absolutely possible. So, it's not necessary that all the questions that you put into the system or while creating the questionnaire has to be scored, so there can be not scored questions as well. So it's absolutely doable. So I'll just give you a brief example for that. Okay, so here if you see, I've just created a test matrix here. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a metric 4, which is just a normal text question where you can enter the qualitative data. Okay, and then at all based on the qualitative data, if you want to score manually, okay, then you can have a similar question at the bottom where you will select the score that you want to give based on the qualitative data that you want to that you analyzed. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so both is possible. So it's not necessary like every text question would have a this score question under it, but if needed you can have such score question under it based on your analysis of qualitative data, or you can just keep it as is. Like if
Sorry.
you see the above assessments as well, like we have yes and no questions, but these notes links they are not scored. So you can have uh, those kind of notes and links with each of the uh, questions or metric. Okay, so there is no a mandatory it's not necessary to have a scoring with each of the questions. Hope that answers your that question particularly. Okay. Okay. Next, I'll go to like can we have such scoring rules? So uh, if I understand this one correctly, it's like the first part of it says like if uh, that particular section or a value or pillar, if no responses are selected for any of the metric under that pillar, then it should by default have a minimum score of 50. Okay, and if at all there is any response on that particular pillar, then based on the response there will be like it starts from 50 to 100. Am I right in saying that? Okay, so just to show you how I have done it in the data sets where the scoring algorithm has to be created. So as I said last time, there are two ways in which you can score within the system. One is the default way where the uh, bottom-up approach automatically takes care of the scoring, and there is another approach which is the custom scoring that I'm just showing you. Okay, so the custom scoring which has such rules. So here what I just get you through what I have created here. So this is the data set that we have created, okay, where all the responses of all the values are there and scores of each metric, okay, is also available in this particular data set. Okay, so for that particular rule what I'm checking is if for this example I have taken section 2 or pillar 2, okay, just to demonstrate. So what I have checked is whether response in 2.1, 2.2 and 2.3, okay, there should be 3 here, but all these 3 are blank, so there is an end condition there. If all the 3 are blank, then I'm giving a score of 50. Okay, if at all it is not blank, okay, then based on the score of 2.1, which I think was uh, let me just recollect that here. And if there is no allegations, okay, if no allegations is selected, that means they get a score of 1, which is kind of 100%. Okay, because we convert it into, so 1 out of 1 is 100%. So if it is 100%, then you will get a score of 67, else whatever score is achieved by default. Okay, so this whatever score achieved by default can be replaced by some other number as well. So I'm just giving you the whole idea of how flexible and what all rules that kind of rules that you can apply there. Okay, so
Right.
and
So
yeah.
for any of these rules, this is something you guys can help us with. If we tell you what the rule is, you
Yes,
can
yes,
help us
absolutely.
create
Yes, we can
this.
definitely help you. So it is part of the setup that we would be doing. Okay, so like one of the line items in the proposal that I sent across was creating scoring data set, and this is exactly what we create as part of that scoring data set. Okay, so all the rules are
Okay.
possible, and when it comes to, so first year we have to do this. Okay, and you might feel it a bit difficult, but going forward for the next years it is just like few changes here and there, and even you would be able to do it once you get hang of it. And it is mostly a copy of the whole data set can be created, and you can just change few of the rules that you want. So it's perfectly, like from second year onwards you will feel a very smooth kind of a cycle. So yeah, all these rules can be set by us, so no problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So similarly, a couple of other rules that that was like one part of that rule was like if uh, the the number of answers of yes. So if there are five questions and there are three yes answers and five total five questions, out of that there are three yes answers, then you give a score of three. So I have done that in section 6 here to demonstrate. So when you see it's like 3 out of 5, okay, that means the score of that section would be like about 60%, right? So 3 divided by 5 would be like 0.60, which is converted into percentage. So it would give you a 60%. So if the score is greater than or equal to 60, then I give a score of 100, else you give a score of 50. So you can do any such kind of things based on. So it's, if you see, this is a combination of the default score that we have set in the template while creating the questionnaire, and the custom scoring that you would like to have based on the default score that you got from the system. Uh, does it make sense? Any questions here?
Yeah.
No, just
No.
so just to clarify, like basically what you said. So like, part of the setup cost that was included is that we could send you the methodology and you could help us create these
Yes,
rules in the very
yes,
beginning.
absolutely, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's one thing. Another question, like just to demonstrate one more part of scoring. Okay, so one of the sheets that you sent across was like each of the pillar was having a weightage here, right? So this weightage has to be taken care of when we are getting an overall score, right? So how that can be achieved is in two ways. Okay, one is by default. Okay, so the whenever you set up a template, okay, you can set those weightages there. uh, but in your case what happens is, because we have also custom score included, we would not be able to use the default way of using it, right? Like default way of setting the scores. So what we can do to kind of address the weightages is, like each section, whatever score you get into the weight. So if it is 10%, it would be 0.10. If it's 18%, 0. So whatever score you get for that particular section would be multiplied by the the weights there. So if you add up all of this, it would be like adding up to one, which is like equivalent to 100%. So that's how you can have an overall score calculated as well based on the weights that are provided. Okay, and like whenever you want to change weight, it is just a matter of like you come here and change the weight. That's it. You do not have to kind of build the whole system again or anything like that. So it would be pretty flexible, and at any point in time during the cycle also, if you want to change, you can do that because it's out of the main questionnaire. Okay, and also like whenever like the scoring is like all this, like last time I kind of showed you three steps, right? One is like creation of questionnaire, second the creation of these data sets, like averages and all those things, and last is the scorecard. So none of this thing, if you do not need it at the first end, everything is flexible enough. So once it is set up, none of this is like you'll have to stay with it for the whole year. Okay, at
Okay.
any point in time you can go in and change the scores, you can change the weightages, all those things you can definitely change at any point in time, and we can just recalculate all the scores, and scores for all the companies would be recalculated in one go. So you'll not have to go
Okay.
to all the 400 companies and change one by one. So once the system is set up, everything is quite flexible, and you'll have the time flexibility as well as the setup flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, Another thing, like we have created averages here, and we have done average by sector. Okay, so I think one of the questions that you uh, somehow, if I go deep into it, there was a question which says like if it is an industrial or a material companies only, then show this particular question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what we inferred. Sorry if I misunderstood that, but if
Yeah.
from what I understand, industrials and materials is one of the sectors for the companies that are part of. So if you want averages by those sectors as well, we can have averages by sectors by putting the second parameter into the average, and it would be like average of sectors. So you can have a combination of multiple like sector and industry, or sector and company size. So you can have a combination of that as well when you want something to be averaged out. Okay, so it all depends on what uh, the second parameter has to be. So it can be a combination of two fields, it can be single field as well. And if you want just a normal average of all the 400 companies, then it would be like if you remove the second parameter, it would be average of all the companies together. Okay, from all the 400 companies. Okay, and we can also
Mm-hmm.
have ranks here. Okay, so you can rank based on the overall score. So based on the overall score, whichever company is 1, 2, 3, it would automatically give you the ranks as well. So I'll just show you an output of how this data set would look like for you to get an understanding of it. So I just click on the CSV that is there, and I'll save. I'll just open it up. Right. So, sorry, it's still opening, I guess. Just why it's not opening up? Let's re-download it. Okay, it's on the top, sorry. Yeah. So you'll see all the columns here with their responses that was selected. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All the responses of all the pillars. So I'll just, yeah. So you'll see each row is the company. Okay, each row would be individual companies, and each column would be individual data. Okay, individual metric. So all the responses are there. Then you will have the scores for each of the metric in
Mm-hmm.
percentages. Okay, and then you will have the overall score that we calculated, the custom overall score.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then it would also have the rank that is 1 and 2. So the overall score that we have was like 76 and 71. So
Mm-hmm.
in that case, I have used, so it would get like 1 and 2 here because 76
Mm-hmm.
and 1. And you'll also get that roadmap stage, like you wanted to have that need to be improved or good,
Mm-hmm.
the three categories that you provided. So we got that as well. So I'll just show you how we have done that in the, yeah. So here we have checked like overall score. If it's greater than 80, greater than or equal to 80, then it would be Mezuan. And sorry, I'm wrongly pronouncing it. Greater than 60 and less than 80, then you will show this one. Else anything not in the ranges that we have checked, it would give us category of this.
Okay, but this
Okay.
is the back end for the like data to have the categories for the
Yeah.
spreadsheet, or is this feeding into the actual like the design of the questions, like this page here?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
So like if we wanted to decide like what we would have on an Excel sheet, is that everything that we have in the system that this is like all together, or like does this like are these each of these like basically the codes for the questions for each company, and then there also are like automatically selected for when you want to create it as a column in an Excel sheet?
Yeah, so you
Like
can
how, yeah.
yeah, you can automatically select as well, and you can also create your own. So it's not necessary that if this data set is having everything like response and scores in one data set, you can only have that. You can have a separate data set which only has responses, another data set which can have only scores, and uh, uh, there can be an import between the two data sets as well. Like one data set already has that data, then you can import that data from one data set to another as well. So all those combinations can be done. And as well, like if you want to auto select, you can like select from here. So if I go to this survey, you will see the list of all the questions, and from here you can select here, and you can have add selected response or scores as point, etc. So it would automatically create the basic formulas that we want to have, the response and the scores one, and then the custom formulas will have to go and write there. So there is no formula builder as such, but yeah, by default you can have response and scores, and then you can further work on the formulas. Does that answer your question? I'm not sure. Like,
Yeah, I was just saying like the formulas there are connected to both like the spread, both this like Excel
yeah,
sheet and the survey
yes,
essentially.
absolutely. So it is like connected. So the whatever this, if you see the survey ID given here, so that's the ID of the survey that we have created, the questionnaire. So the data would be coming directly from the responses that the company has given or you have selected for that particular company. And then the spreadsheet that I showed was the same data set. Okay, so it's part of this. So whatever data, the fields that I've selected here or created here would come out as the CSV. So you will have to generate to get the latest data. Okay, so whenever you click on generate, the latest data is kind of pulled into the spreadsheet, and all the new calculations, maybe the responses was changed for any of the existing company or anything, then it would recalculate the scores and everything together when you click on generate. It would take about 10 seconds or so. So once generated, you can download it in CSV or XLS format, and it would exactly show you this kind of Excel spreadsheet. Okay, and then you can use this Excel spreadsheet to do further analysis, like more detailed analysis that you may not be able to do in the system. So so all basic uh, calculations and formulas that you need for benchmarking is already there. So all the statistical analysis can be done within the system by creating these data sets. But anything custom, very custom that you want to do, that kind of analysis that you'll have to do out of the system by getting this Excel sheet, and you can further process it.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think also it would be helpful to just go over the survey, just so the interface of it a little bit, because
Sure.
Jake didn't see it last time.
Sure, absolutely. So I'll just go through it. So this is, sorry, my Zoom. Okay. So I'll just go from start. Yeah.
So how would it like at first start if like you were like selecting a company? So you would
Okay. Sure. So I'll go to manager. Okay. So once I log in.
Sorry, I think
Sorry.
I'm also interested in seeing the if we send the link to a company to fill this out themselves? I'm interested in seeing what it would look like from the company end.
Sure, sure. So just to clarify on that particular part, most of the things that you would see as a manager would also be displayed to the company. So I'll while going through the demo, I'll tell you what a manager would be able to see and what a company would be able to see. Okay, but most of the interface is same. Okay, so now like suppose you as an administrator is going into the system, you are logging in into the system. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me log in so that you get a complete idea of it. Okay, so this is the login screen. Okay, and this login screen would be visible, like same login screen is available to both company users and the administrators. Okay, so there is no difference there. So I'll just put my login ID password. So when I log in, okay, so as an administrator, the first screen that I would see is the manage participants. And when I say manage participants, is the list of companies that we have already imported into the system. So it would be the 430 companies that you have in place. Okay, so now as I want to go to a particular company and kind of respond or analyze that company, I would like just search for it, JLens. Okay, I'll go into JLens by using this particular icon, which is called as login as this participant. So this is what you will be taken to, and this is the same interface that company would also be seeing. Okay, so the only additional that the administrators would get is like once you log in as that particular participant, the everything that you see after that would be what company would be seeing. Okay.
Mhm.
So from here on, everything that you see would be what companies would see. So here, this is the list of surveys that they would be seeing, which are assigned to them and for which they are open to. And here would be the scorecards once generated. The scorecards would be displayed here, and the company can go and see their own scorecards whenever they want to after the login. Okay, so currently I'm just taking you to this. So this is the overview page where they would be able to see all the pillars as well as the statuses of their submission, like how much they have completed, what basic scores like point scores that they have achieved based on what we have set up and all those things. So in case like you are asking companies to only kind of go and respond to the analysis that you have already done, then there is a possibility that we can also hide this status column because most of them would be already completed. They'll just have to go and respond or comment on the analysis that you have already done. Okay, so that's uh, yeah. So on click of this particular question,
And
I'll
sorry,
yeah,
one question on that. If we
sure.
wanted to only share one of the pillars in the survey with the company, is that possible?
Yes, it is possible. So what you can, so in that particular case, you can use the share a page feature. Okay, so you can give the email address of the contact and the note for why you are sharing that particular pillar, and they would be getting temporary email, temporary login credentials, and they when they get into the system with those credentials, they'll only be able to see the pillars that you have shared with them. Okay, so on the overview as well, like when I just went here, you can kind of select multiple pillars from here and send
Mm.
an email address and share those selected pillars. And when the companies receive that email and try to log in, they'll only be able to respond to these three pillars.
Okay.
Okay. So that's where the share page can be used as well in that particular case.
When they do fill out the survey, is there a notification that we get, or you would just have to log in to look
Yeah,
to see
so
if they did it?
there is a notification like if they are starting something, like if the survey is not already started, if they are starting, then they would be getting like i- they as well as you would be getting an email that this particular survey has been started. If at all you say so, it's configurable. So if you want to configure an email, you can configure that. Second, a notification would be coming when you are actually submitting. Okay, so finally, like once everything is done, everything is finalized, there is a submission page here. So on submission, when you select like I would like to confirm. So here these are like if there is something not completed, you will see like these are the pages that are not completed. There are mandatory questions that are not answered. But once as a manager, you can still confirm. So once you click on this tick box and click on confirm, that means that it's a final submission. Okay, and on the final submission, the company as well as the administrator both would be getting an email saying that this particular company has submitted. So that notification is as there as well. So it depends on your process, like how you want to set these things up. So and all the emails are completely configurable based on whatever information that you want to put in the email. uh, so yeah.
Could we even take out some of the metrics so they only see certain metrics to fill out within each of the pillars?
Uh, so for the companies, you mean to say?
Yeah, for the companies, if we only wanted them to fill out like certain thing or like not see certain questions
Uh, within the okay,
within
so
a pillar.
within a pillar, there is a possibility. So if you currently let me just give me a moment. I'll just show you one more thing here. Okay. Okay. So currently the way it is set up. So if you see this particular condition, okay, this is a read-only condition. Okay. Similarly, we can have a visible condition as well. Okay. So here we
Mm.
can mention like if you only show this question if a manager is logged in or an administrator is logged in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, else you can hide it from the company. And there is also, when I say read only, there is a possibility of a read only as well, where if administrators have uh, analyzed, okay, and if you don't want the companies to go and modify that but only view it and respond to your or comment on that particular question, then you can have such read only questions as well, where once it is read only, uh, it would be only like only administrators can modify the responses to those questions, but companies can only view it. They would not be able to
Mm-hmm.
edit or modify that particular question. So both visibility is also possible and read only is also possible. So in case like, and this is within a pillar. So here like support for Israel is a pillar, and within the pillar or a question, you can uh, kind of specify whether you want to have it as read only, visibility, if only administrator goes in, I want to see it. All those things are definitely possible and doable, and none of this would
Mm-hmm.
impact the scoring at any point. Okay. So yeah.
Great. And then just one other question. So like let's just say it's one of us. So I guess we're administrators. So
Yeah.
we're going to participants. So we would just like there was like the list of all the companies. So we would just that
Yeah.
would be like if we wanted to go from company to company to like update, that is how we
Right.
would do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll see the list of all the 400 companies, and you can go in individually to those company and respond as the companies would be responding. Each of the questions you will see, and you can respond yes, no, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll come to the point where you have also asked about importing the data. So I'll come to that
Mm-hmm.
part as well. So yeah, once I'm done with the front end, I'll come to that
Mm-hmm.
part as well. Okay, so this is a side overview. So here from and so system is flexible enough that you can go from any page to any page, any question to any question. There is no mandatory that you have to go in one straight sequence. There is no mandatory requirement like that. So from like submission, I can
Mm-hmm.
directly go to second section. If I want to fill something, then I'll fill. Otherwise, it would stay as is. Uh, Sorry, my network has gone slow. Yeah. So yeah, I'll come here. I'll modify anything. I can add notes. I can add links here. You can add. Yeah, one thing like for Jack, like when we add a link here, okay, the system and when you click on add link, the system would automatically convert that web URL or the content of that web URL, take a snapshot of it and put it into a PDF file. Okay, so along with the web link, you will also have a PDF file for in that particular instance or that particular time when you have added it. Okay, so because as a evidence, it is important to have a PDF document because the website can change at any point during the submissions. So uh, that thing is, and once the link has been added, so I'll just show you. Uh, just add link. So a list would be created on the top and a PDF file is also created, which is like showing to save it. So Google is like this at this point in time. So it has taken the snapshot of it. Okay. And you'll also see the same list at the bottom. So from here as well, you can access it. And the link is already there. So you can give description and whatever additional fields that you want to have. So just you can also have like flagging of the indicators. So you can flag the indicators. Okay, so you see that this 1.1 is flagged. You can flag the whole page. So when you flag on the overview page, you see that this is a flagged indicator. So you can go in and visit why it is flagged and also like you can when sharing a page you can mention that please only like in the note you can mention that only visit the flagged indicators. So if you want to give an instruction like this share a page can be used internally as well as externally, so however you want to do that. Okay. uh, yeah, and then there is like this history. So when we kind of yeah. So this is like response history. I'll come to know like what other companies have selected for this particular question. Okay. If I'm changing the responses of this particular question again and again, then I'll come to know at what date which user has changed the response of this particular question. Uh, and last year, what was the selection on the same question for the same company. So this complete history would be available for you to see against each question here. And the scores you can see here, these scores are only visible when you log in as an administrator. Okay,
Okay.
the companies won't be able to see these scores. Just as a note.
Okay, that's helpful to know.
Yeah. And this course also, if you want to show to the company, it would be visible. If you do not want to show to the company, it won't be visible. So it depends on how you want that to be. Okay. Any specifically anything you want me to go through in the front end? Like okay. One more thing that I can show you is the pre-population. So whatever responses that I have selected in the previous year. So previous survey that I showed you was the 2022 one. Now this is 2023. So whatever I had selected in this question last year is automatically pre-populated and it's displayed as pre-filled. Okay, so this border indicates that it's a pre-filled indicator. Okay, so just to confirm this change, if I don't want to change anything, I can just go and save and continue, and the response that was there in the previous year would be saved automatically. So you don't have to go to history or to the previous survey to check what you had selected. okay, when you are filling it first. So once it is saved and then you want to see what was selected previously, then you will have to go and see the history. But otherwise, in the first instance, it would be pre-populated for you. And pre-population is possible for notes and assessment, or the like single select, multi-select, all of them, except for the links. Links won't be pre-selected, so that will have to be kind of redo. But except
Mhm.
for the links and attachments, everything else would be pre-populated.
If we wanted to create like sometimes we update company scores after we have a phone call with them, but it could be in the same year that we might have already have done an assessment of a company. That's like we can just create a new template at any time.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like the survey. So here I have like, if you run 2 or 3 assessments per year, then absolutely you can create the name of the surveys can be accordingly. So it's not necessary if it is 2022, the next would be 2023. It's however you want to name it, version it. It's absolutely up
Mhm.
to you. It's just like here I'm demonstrating it, but yeah, you can run 2 or 3 assessments per year, and this pre-filling would work as it's working
Mhm.
for a year-on-year basis. You can have month-on-month basis, a quarter-on-quarter basis. So there's no limitation
Mhm.
to that. It just takes whatever you give in the previous year,
Yeah.
not year, but previous survey, so to say, or
Okay.
previous version of the survey. And there is also a
Mhm.
possibility where you can mention from which survey you want. So if say you are running 4 assessments, and in the last quarter you want the data to be pre-filled from the first quarter, then you can set up, when setting up the survey, and you can instruct the system to kind of pre-populate from the first quarter and not from the third quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we can touch on the questions about like if we had questions that were only applicable to certain sectors, how could
Yeah.
we, or like um we wanted there to be like pillar methodologies, like we had 10 different pillar methodologies for society depending on the sector. How could we do that?
Right. So see here this 4.1. Okay, I'll go to 2022 because there is some data there. So that would be good to show you. Here when I go to question 4.2. Okay, so this
Mm-hmm.
question 4.2 is only applicable for uh, one of the sectors. I think the sector that you provided was industrials. Okay, industrials and
Mm-hmm.
materials. So it's only applicable to industrial sector. So currently if I go to this company details, okay, this is just a test question here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I change it to commodities and save, okay, and now if I go to 4.2, okay, I'll not see 4.2, but I was able to see 4.3, because commodity,
Oh,
it
cool.
was set up to like, if the company is commodity, then 4.3 should be visible, and 4.2 should be visible when it's industrials and materials. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
should I redo it just to kind of,
Um, sure.
okay.
It would change that because like we might have also have different weightings for it would also change the weightings if we needed
Yeah,
to.
all those can be possible. And as I said, like if default, if it's not doable, then you can always do it in the data sets. Okay, so in the
Okay.
data sets as well, I can kind of check whether if the sector of a particular company is this, then you give a score of
Okay.
this. So all those if statements can be created in the data sets as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, and also like it's not necessary that there has to be a sector question within the survey. There is a part. So if you see here, this is the list of companies again.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go and edit, there is this list of additional information. So in this additional information, you can have, so whenever we are importing the companies, you can have sector, country, industry, company
Mm-hmm.
size, everything in this particular list, because it normally does not change every year, right? It remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no need for you to create a survey question and get all those details. You can also create such question like field here within, and this is like completely flexible. So currently you are seeing this because I have created those many fields in it. There can be 2 or 3 fields as well, depending on your requirement or of your instance. Okay, and whatever you select here can be used to show or hide a question within the survey as well. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's not necessary that only question can show or hide based on another question. So it can be this common information that you have for the company can also decide whether you want to show or hide a question, or in case of scoring, you even that is used in the can be used in the scoring data set as well.
So
So
it could
in the instruction.
could it pre-select, like pre-fill this out if we had uploaded a spreadsheet that had all the sectors
Yes, yes,
for
yes,
the companies?
absolutely.
Okay.
So like we can import responses, we can also import participants. Okay, so all the companies information can be imported in one go in one Excel sheet. Okay, we'll give you the format of the Excel sheet. You put all the data and it would be imported in one go. Okay,
Okay.
so that's
Yeah,
yeah,
Ajeda's not in like the best state right now, so I think part of it would be understanding that we'd honestly have to like have like a year kind of doing things
sure, sure.
manually before getting to like a certain stage. But
Right,
yeah.
right. But yeah, it's like quite doable, and most of the things can
Mm.
be imported. So it's absolutely
Okay.
fine doing that.
Okay. And then maybe we can touch on like the pre-filling question. About the potential if, and this is something like I would say it's like more like a year from now on our radar, not something that's like an
Right,
immediate need.
sure. So I'll just show you. So this is like if you see the this is import. So import responses is one of the
Mm-hmm.
menus here. So here you select the survey. Okay, and when you select the survey, you will be able to download the already inserted responses. Okay, and you will see an Excel sheet like this. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it would only show the fields or columns or metric that you want to import. Okay, so that you can set up in the template. Like I would only like to import say 10 questions or 10 metric. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to see rest of them. Okay, so that setting can be done in the template. Okay, when I say
Mm-hmm.
template, it's the survey questionnaire template that I showed you,
Mm-hmm.
this one. Okay, so here if I go to extended, I'll be able to see this particular icon here. Okay, so if I select this icon, then that particular question would be kind of displayed in the download. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in the format. Okay, and in this particular format, you will see again it is similar to what we saw in the data set. Every row is the company name. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and every column is the individual metric that you want to import. Okay,
Okay.
so here whatever data I put in or the response that I put in, and again back to the main here, after I create that CSV file that is there, if I go and browse, select that CSV and click on import, it would import all the data that you have put in into that
Mm-hmm.
CSV file. Okay, so if there is already some data, I delete that data. It does not mean that it would delete that data from the system. So the system only, it's a one-way kind of a system. It would only update or insert. It would not kind of delete anything that is not there in this particular uh, sheet. Okay, so you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to, so it's fail safe in a way. And also like you will see the complete log of what CSV you have imported. If there are any errors, it would show you like there were errors for this particular company. Please recheck those particular fields. So all those things are there, and you will see the complete log of all the information. Okay,
Mm.
so at any point in time, you come here, select the survey, download the format, and update with whatever information that you want to import, and import it using this import functionality. So and then it would queue and import it in few minutes.
Okay, and then it would go into, it would automatically update all the.
Yes, yes. And then once the import is done here, when you see that it's successfully imported, if you again go to that those companies and see in the front end, okay, all those responses would be available there. Okay.
Okay.
So after that, nothing you will have to do. Everything would be like the system automatically takes care of everything. You can just come here on the front end, go to that particular indicator or metric, and see that those response would be updated automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, once you go to the data sets, you generate it, you will get the latest information and everything would be
Mm-hmm.
there. So it's just a matter of importing, like putting it in a particular format and importing. That's it.
I guess my
Nothing
only
more.
concern with that is that you'd have to make sure that the company names match between like I'm sure like the order, like it's like an Excel formula, but that
Right.
could lead to an error if you accidentally assigned it to the wrong company. See.
Right, because right, at least the company name would have to be same, or maybe like
Yeah.
this ID. So one of them have to be kind of same.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like system won't be able to recognize like for which company they are inserting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying
So
it's
it would
not
take like a
incorrect.
little bit. It would take like we would have to configure these spreadsheets the right way, but otherwise it would automatically upload.
Yeah,
Like
so
so.
if you like, if I have done this in the past for other clients as well. So the most important thing is if you kind of sort the list of company names by the name of the company, okay, then it's just a matter of like copying it from one Excel sheet and pasting it all together in
Mhm.
one column. So one column at a time, you can paste it, and all those data for all the 400 companies would there, provided you have sorted the companies well. So there
Mhm.
would be that initial hitch, like if the company's name does not match or there is an extra company here
Mhm.
which was not there in other things. So yeah, that you will have to take care of. But once it is there, if the list of companies set, then it's just a matter of copy pasting all the rows in one go, and
Mhm.
you can make it like you can use it to import.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds good.
does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, Next, I think one of the questions you asked about, uh, yeah, this scoring thing, where you mentioned that there are four
Mm-hmm.
pillars where the scoring is done in a different way, or the template of
And
scoring is
the
something
two.
different, and the
Yeah, two of
other
them.
two has is dependent on the sectors and template. So I think I answered already. Like
Yes.
there is no difference. Like there's no fixed like you only score this way or you score this way. Every pillar can have its own way of scoring, and it's absolutely doable from the data sets as well as from the template. So
Mm-hmm.
that would not cause any problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jake, do you have any questions from for the front end side of it? Any specific thing you would like to see?
I think the next thing that we wanted to see was on the producing the scorecards.
Sure,
So maybe we can touch on that next.
sure.
And also a little bit on just like if we just wanted graphics and we wanted to just use them for our own purposes outside of a scorecard,
Yeah,
a little bit on that
I,
question.
I'll come to that. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So now first I'll come to the generation of scorecard. Then I'll show you the scorecard, and then I'll show you how the scorecards or the charts or graphics within the scorecard can be used elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll go in that sequence. So firstly,
Mm-hmm.
there are two ways to generate the scorecards. Okay, so one is like when on the submission, when the submission is being done, we can set up the system to kind of on click of confirm, a scorecard is automatically generated. Okay, so for that, all the three steps has to be completed before the survey goes live. Okay, so when I say all the three step is like creation of survey, creation of data set, and creation or setting up of the scorecards. Okay, so on click of confirm, the data set would be generated automatically, and the scorecard would be generated automatically as well in the background. Okay, so without you doing anything. Okay, just click on confirm and all these three steps would be done. And once the scorecard is generated, you will see that particular scorecard on the home page like you are currently seeing. And on click of that particular scorecard, it would open a scorecard that I'll just show you in a bit. Okay, currently I've not set up the scorecard for this one, but yeah, I can show you an example of it. So something similar to this can be created. Okay, and there are multiple formats, whatever. So this is a digital scorecard. Okay, there can be a scorecard in Word or PDF document as well, that also I'll show you. But this is a digital scorecard, and the format can be whatever you provide us, or whatever templates that we have by default, that can be used as well. So that's absolutely configurable and customizable, so to say. Okay, so how, so here you can show overall scores, averages, regional averages, everything. Okay, you can have pillar wise scores listed. So when I click on one of the pillars, it would go to that particular pillar, the overall score of that pillar is displayed, and each of the questions or metric can be displayed as well, and score for those individual metric can be displayed as well here. Okay, so this is how this scorecard works, and this is for GCF, one of our clients who have created that. Another type of scorecard is this one. So here, if you see, we have this charts. So here, each of these pillars, they have kind of displayed multiple colors. So here the colors represent the scores that they have achieved. So if they are at a planning stage, then they are showing red color. If they are at an embed stage, they are showing yellow color. If they are at an implement stage, so it's like they are this using colors to show at what stage they are in the whole cycle that they have. Okay, so they have the whole aim is to reach from plan to review. Okay, so at what stage for different pillars they are showing or demonstrating that as a color. Okay, and this radar chart can be displayed for like company and the average score for each of the pillars. So you'll be able to see this. So, and now here I'll tell you like how you can use these graphs externally or for your own use outside of the system. So you have this download chart. So when you download it, a PDF file will be generate, or sorry, PNG file would can be saved, and this PNG file then can be used in your PowerPoint slides, or wherever you want to use it in your Word document or other reports, wherever you want to use it. So this download can be used in that particular way. So a PNG file can be used externally. Okay,
Could we
so
make some graphics if we had like no intention of putting them in a scorecard? We just wanted to like make the graphics. If we were
okay,
like really analyzing like a pillar, we were going into more depth than we would into
okay.
just a
So
scorecard.
for that, uh, so okay, so this is where the feedback reports or the scorecards are configured. Okay, so this is where the configuration is done in the background, and these fields are coming from the data sets. Okay, and
Mhm.
you can have your colors and everything, the legend text and everything, and then you get a PDF, sorry, an image like this to preview.
Mhm.
Okay, so here you can like this is where the configuration is done. So once, so you can kind of use this particular screen to kind of create the graphs that you might want. Okay,
Mhm.
and then maybe like this is an image, you can like download or save it as an image and you can use it. So there's no need for a scorecard, but you can use just use the thing that is there at the time of setup. Okay, and then maybe you can use it directly. So this is like
Mhm.
the complete scorecard that I, or the chart that I showed you is kind of customizable. So I'll just show you. Uh, Sorry. So these are all the charts that we have created just to show. And
Mhm.
then there's an horizontal chart. So when I go here, if I click on JLens and preview, I will get that horizontal chart. So it's a bit slow here. So the whole chart is being displayed here with the
Mhm.
range, and all this is like configurable. Like you want to show data labels, you want to show the
Mhm.
position of the data label wants to be changed. Like you want this scale to be different. You want from 0 to 50 or something, that scale can be changed as well. So everything, the font sizes, the patterns, the grid line color, you want to show grid or not grid in the background, all those things are completely configurable. So after, once you configure, even the colors are like configurable from here. You can select the color that you want, or if you have a code, you can put that code here and start using it. So, and from here, once you select it, you can like right click and copy an image and use it somewhere else. I'm not sure
Okay.
if it exactly matches your requirement, but yeah, these are few of the ways you can kind of use the charts,
Mhm.
and this data is again like directly coming from the data sets that we have created.
Mhm.
Okay, so the data set that I demonstrated at the start, the scoring data set, the data is directly coming from there. Okay,
Okay.
so once that data is up to date and the score is fine there, everything would be displayed fine here as well. So
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's just the scorecard might have like it would be we'd use it for like broader data, and then if we
yeah,
wanted to have like a report that was analyzing a pillar, maybe we'd want to like really hone down on like performance on
yes,
one
yes.
metric or something like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. You can create this chart as well, and you can do all those things within the data set, and you export it and then create your own chart if at all this charts does not suffice for
Mhm.
your thing. So the charts that we have is like this line chart, radar chart,
Mhm.
table tree map chart. So these are all the chart donut charts. All these are there by default. Okay.
Mhm.
Anything additional that you want, then maybe you can use the Excel sheet, and then the numbers in the Excel sheet can be used to create the charts in the Excel sheet out of the system.
Mhm.
Okay. And for Jake, like we can have like this kind of scorecards as well. Uh, so these colors are also based on the scores that they have achieved, or there are some logics behind the colors that are displayed here as well. You can also have such kind of things in the scorecard. So it's an interactive thing. So stacked bar chart. Here also you have an export. And other thing that like one of the questions was related to the investor scorecard. So you can have something like, as you saw already have. So when we click on this particular, so it's like clickable chart. So when we click on this particular bar, it would take us to that particular page. Wait, let me see. Yeah, it's actually loading. Yeah, so I clicked on healthcare. So it automatically filtered and came to the second page where only healthcare companies are being displayed here. So there's no limit to the number of companies that are there, because like this is already like large cap 1000 companies. Okay, and when I click on, so here also there are these advanced filters. So by region, by midway, like by region, by number of employees, if you filter, so all these filters can be done. So if I select this, so the number of companies have reduced now. So these are only the healthcare companies which has a market cap between 15 billion to 25 billion. Okay, so all these filters can be created, the states, pillars, uh, the complete thing can be done. And then when I click on this particular company, it would take me to the company specific page, which would be a company specific scorecard, if I can say that. So this kind of scorecard or dashboard can be created for investors side of it. Okay,
Yeah.
so the charts are interactive, and whatever they want to see, they can kind of drill down and see for each individual companies.
Mhm. So another question we had with these two was about if we could like limit the access to these,
Yeah.
if we were to embed this on our website.
Right. So as you see here, this particular like obviously for as you saw it is public. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
the website that you see is like as you saw's website. Okay, so it
Mm-hmm.
is not our own website. So what we have done is we have this whole thing like it's completely their website, and there are few pages that they these are like CMS system that as you saw had. So we kind of embedded uh, iframe, and within the iframe we are calling our system's dashboard, and it is being displayed. So similarly for you as well, if you have a website which already has an investor login setup and all those areas, then we can show the scorecards or dashboard that we have
Mm-hmm.
created directly into your website as well. So there is no
Okay.
limitation to that. So
So
that's
we would
absolutely
create
doable.
the logins on our end and then we would embed it
Yeah, so that is one
after
way
that.
of doing it. Okay, so
Okay.
that would be a straightforward way of doing it where you do not have to use ProBench to give access to investors. Okay, so you are only giving access to investors for the dashboard purposes. Okay, another way of doing it is like we create an admin login within
Mm-hmm.
ProBench. Okay, so when they log in, they would be taken to a dashboard page, and here we can maybe give link to the investor scorecard that you have already created. Okay. So when they click on one of the links on this particular page, they would be redirected to a dashboard main dashboard page like as you saw, and they can view it from there. So that's another way of giving access to investors. So
Mm-hmm.
does that make sense?
It would be like just relatively simple, like it wouldn't have anything on like any of these other
Yeah, absolutely. So this page is like configurable. So don't worry about the details that are there on this page.
mm-hmm.
But basically on this particular page, we can put in whatever you link or information that you want to put in, and on click of that link, they would be redirected to the actual dashboard page uh, that uh, like which they can use to kind of analyze the data or to see the actual data.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a configurable page, this dashboard page. So you do not have to worry about all the other information that is currently there.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just show the scorecard that you can download, the PDF?
Okay. So here, okay. So here, if you see, this is print scorecard as PDF. Okay. So we can have like provide instructions, and once these instructions are provided, you can like have a normal print dialog box, and instead of this, you can save it to PDF, and the scorecard would be displayed here. Okay, I obviously have to change some settings here, print background. So you will be able to see all the colors and everything here. Okay, and this can be printed. So this is a digital scorecard printed into a PDF version or a format. Okay, there is other way if you do not want a digital scorecard. Okay, then there are also like directly we can create PDFs scorecards. So scorecards directly in PDF, which is like in a directly in a PDF downloadable format, but there is no digital version of it. Okay, so this is like this we create it in Word format, and then we kind of convert it into PDF. So the exact GCF scorecard. So GCF also like Global Child Forum also started with a PDF scorecard, and then at a later stage they moved to the digital scorecard. So if you want, or if your requirements is such that the companies would be more keen to getting the PDF document rather than a digital scorecard, then uh, maybe you can directly go with creating a PDF format scorecard. So the same things are there. The charts and everything would remain the same, but it would be created in a Word format, and then it would be kind of provided in the PDF format.
And what's the process for creating that?
Yeah, so
Word
in
format or PDF?
so in this PDF, if you are directly going with the only the PDF scorecard, then the word format or the formatting that you would need for the scorecard, okay, uh, I will have to be provided from your side, where the whole format of the scorecard in a Word document would be provided to us. We will use the same document. It's kind of a mail merge kind of a feature where you provide the complete Word document of a scorecard, and we put in placeholders which would replace the all the dynamic data, like the scores and the charts and everything, but all the static data like the text and everything would still remain the same what you have provided. Okay, so wherever there is dynamic data, we would replace it with the placeholders, but rest of the format would remain the same. Jake, does that answer your question?
Yeah,
I'll just show
so
you some other examples. So this is another format. Okay, so here these individual charts are there, and here icons and everything is completely dynamic, and this text is static. Okay, so based
so
on the
who's doing the design? Who's designing
yeah, so
the
design
layout
like
and
the
everything?
clients have provided us with the design. Okay,
Okay,
so the complete design, you provide whatever design in a Word format, and we would convert that into a dynamic scorecard.
okay.
Okay, so whatever you want to be dynamic would remain dynamic, and whatever you want static would remain static. So all this text, everything would is static. The column headers, everything is static, but these icons are dynamic. So based on whatever score or whatever they have selected in their submissions, based on that, these icons are being displayed. Okay, also this areas covered, so this all this information, this text is dynamically created, this whole text uh, based on the responses that the companies have provided for various metric. Okay, so we can also have such if statements within the data set, like if they have a score of this, then following are the areas, like you can set up like the areas to improve. Okay, so if they have achieved 60 score, then you have certain paragraph that you want to display in the scorecard, and that paragraph can be set up in the data set itself. Okay, so even that can be set up, like if they have 60 score, then this is the paragraph. If they have greater than 80, then this is the paragraph. If they have less than 40, then this is the paragraph. So that can be set up within the data set as well, and that information would be displayed here within the Word or even in the digital scorecard. So even in the digital scorecard, if you see this first, these two areas, these are like dynamic based on the scores that they have achieved. So your company has developed XYZ, and the next step that they will need to follow. So it's dynamically based on the scores that they have achieved.
Hmm.
And it's one setup, like you do not have to worry about all the 400 companies. So it's completely based on rules, and it would be automated, uh, the whole cycle.
If we wanted to write something custom, could we have that appear?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, we can do that as well. So in that particular case, what you'll have to do is like within the survey itself, okay, you can have a kind of a summary page at the end.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and there you can have those text boxes, and that information can then be pulled from the data set into the scorecard. So
Hmm.
that's that is possible as well, that custom thing as well.
Okay. I think we addressed all the questions.
Yeah. Just a question from any of your existing clients, have you received any kind of feedback as to maybe new features or functionalities that they might want that aren't there now? And is like maybe that's something you're working on? Is there
Yeah,
anything
so
that's missing?
uh, that's a good question. So there's see to be very frank, no software is like 100% complete, so to say.
Right.
So there is always some things missing, but uh, if from my experience over the years, like for the companies who are starting to get into an automated system like ProBench, okay, there is everything that is there. Okay, now the new requirements that are coming are from the clients who are with us from last 7 8 years 10 years. So they are coming up with more advanced features and things. Last time I showed you few of the tables and things, right? So and all the calculators that we have created within the tables, so all those were created recently in the last 1.5 year. So and such kind of complex things now starts coming from the clients who are using us or the ProBench since last like like 8 9 years almost. So Textile Exchange is there with us since 2012, and even UNPRI. So we have a long BBFAW is using our software since 2015. So now they are kind of, because they move to a next phase of their own benchmark, some requirements comes up, but yeah, most of the things are stable. And for the the clients who are newly starting with us, everything is there in the system. That I'm pretty much like, based on the demo you would have known like none of the answers from me were no, we cannot do. There are very rarely we come up with those kind of answers, because most of the things are already there. Now the things that we are enhancing is the capabilities that we have with the dashboarding. Okay, there is already this filters and everything is already in place, but there are more charts to be added. There are few more things to be done from a dashboard flexibility standpoint. So all those things we would keep on adding as and when the requirements comes uh, to us. But yeah, overall the system is quite stable, and I don't think so there is any major requirement that is not already there in the system. There is also like the one feature that we have is the notification feature. I did not go into the deep for that particular features because you are still not kind of getting any feedback from the companies. So that is not part of your process. But once it is part of your process, whenever the the companies start commenting on your analysis, okay, every day you will get a notification email saying that the companies have responded to XYZ metric. So please go and review it again. So you will not have to go and check all the 400 companies whether they have given answer or not. So that notifications would come in an Excel sheet. A consolidated email would be there in your mailbox, and you can go through the list of all the companies who have responded. So that feature is also already there. But yeah, means I did not go deep into it because that's not currently part of your process.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Jake, anything specifically you want to see from dashboard or scorecard point of view?
No, I think everything's been covered that I was
Okay.
looking for.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
There's one last question that I have not addressed yet. Was asked about uh, the registration process that the companies, if at all you want to kind of invite companies. Okay, so like I'll share a documentation that we have, which would we have about 4 ways in which the companies can register and get into the system. Okay, so there is like a company code way of doing it. Uh, you share company code for each individual company in their invitation. Okay, and the when the companies register, so let me go and into the uh, registration page. So there is this link, register as a new participant. So here you will have that company code. Okay, so any number of users from that company can provide their email address, password. Okay, and then whatever company code was provided into their invitation, they can use that company code and register. So as soon as they do that, they would be automatically registered into the system and associated with that particular company. So next time when they actually sign in, they would directly be taken to the home page or the survey page that we saw of for that particular company. Okay, so that's the easiest way of registration. The second way would be like if you do not want the companies to go into the hassle of this registration and everything of that sort, you can have a single username password for each of the companies assigned. Okay, and then maybe you in the invitation they'll only get that username and password, and all the users from that company would use that username and password. So that is another way of. So I'll share that documentation with you. So there are in total 4 ways in which the companies can register. So yeah, that would give you an idea.
Mhm.
And as I said last year, the invitations and everything can be sent from the system itself. So system has a way where you can send invitations, you can send reminders, all those things are already there in the system. You can configure your own email and that custom email would be sent to the companies. And you can also have your own from email. So the from email would not be from ProBench or 73-bit. You can have your own from email. So something at the rate jlensnetwork.org or
Mhm.
something. So that's also doable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So in terms of like the referral question, so I think we probably will need like a few weeks in general because things move a little bit slowly with our parent organization. But like if we were interested in like reaching out to referrals, like kind of how would that work?
that's fine. Absolutely fine. If you have any specific, do you have any specific clients that you have already kind of saw on our website to want to interact with? Then it's fine. Else we can provide you a couple of email addresses. You can interact and set up a call with them, and we can also inform them that you'll be reaching out to them.
Hmm. Maybe like as you sow, since we do have a connection there, but I don't know if there's like somebody who's like more like within. We actually spoke to the head of As You Sow, but I don't know if there's somebody from As You Sow that is like actually more actively using the system
Okay.
that could be better contact.
Okay. So you have spoken to Jill, is it? Like I'm not sure. Like
Not Jill. We spoke to Andrew, right?
okay,
I think.
Andrew. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
So I can give you a couple of context. Like so the difference like I would like you to talk to some other like I obviously give you the context of as you saw as well, but if I may say, as you saw is mostly using only our dashboard side of it. Okay,
Okay.
they are not using the data collection and all those part, because we normally just import the data that they have given and the dashboard is
Mm-hmm.
kind of created accordingly. So they do not use the data collection side of things. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously from a dashboard standpoint, if you want to talk to Jill, Jill is their communications head. So maybe she uses the dashboard as well, and there is one more contact who uses ProBench regularly. So I'll give both the contacts. You can definitely contact them. And another client maybe who is using ProBench, like either someone from BBFAW or Global Child Forum, which mostly has the kind of cycle that you have. Okay, where they analyze the
Mm-hmm.
companies and then they the public assessments, so to say, what we call it as. So I'll give you access
Mm-hmm.
to uh, one of those contacts as well.
Okay.
So I'll first
Right.
check with them if they are okay to have this kind of interaction. Then once I get a
Mm-hmm.
input from them, I'll share the details with you. But yeah, for as you saw, I think because we have got a referral, we can definitely
Mm-hmm.
send their contacts to you.
Okay. Great.
Sounds good. Well,
Cool.
thank you. We certainly appreciate your time and the in-depth demo.
No problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for taking time out to see the demo as well. So it's like important that you understand each and every part of it. Still, if you have any
Mm-hmm.
questions or anything you want a follow-up call, please feel free to let me know. We can set up another call, which would help you make any decisions around it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Great. Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Good day.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You too.